The practice of hypnosis is often misunderstood, but nevertheless a powerful therapy tool. Milton Erickson pioneered a method of trance induction in which the practitioner uses a more passive means to lull the patient into trance. This technique has a much higher rate of success in induction than earlier means. In this clip, Dr. Ruth Basinski interviews Bill O'Hanlon about his experience studying with Erickson and some of the benefits of using Ericksonian hypnosis versus traditional methods.
I'm Dr. Ruth Basinski. I'm a licensed psychologist in Connecticut and also the president of the National Institute for the Clinical Application of Behavioral Medicine. My guest is Bill O'Hanlon. He's a licensed mental health practitioner, a certified professional counselor, and a licensed marriage and family therapist. He's in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and he's one of our most favorite speakers at the conference. Bill is the author of 30 books. I don't know how he does it, but he's the author of 30 books, including his most recent, which is A Guide to Tranceland, a practical handbook of Ericksonian and solution-oriented hypnosis. Bill, you've got a way of thinking of the elements of induction. I know that there are many people on the call who have a background in Ericksonian hypnosis already, but for those who don't, can we just go through how you've divided the elements of induction and give just a brief explanation of each of them?
Sure, and let me give you a little context first. I think maybe some people on the call are new to hypnosis as well. Some people, veterans of it, of one approach or another to hypnosis or hypnotherapy. But I was not interested in hypnosis before I came to it. I studied with the late Milton Erickson, who died in 1980. I studied with him in the 70s, and he was a great influence on me. But I actually came out to study his psychotherapy part, and I thought, hypnosis is a little mystical, a little weird, a little like voodoo. I didn't really know that much about it. I was a little wary of it. And you couldn't study with Erickson without learning about hypnosis. It was just part of the package. And so I did learn about hypnosis back in the 70s, and I've been using it ever since. And I can tell you, I find it both relevant to my non-hypnotic work, which we'll probably talk about a little later in the call, but endlessly fascinating. I still haven't gotten to the bottom of it. But the first thing that I noticed, that it took me a couple of years to articulate this, I can tell you that, but the first thing that was kind of a shift in my approach or awareness about how Erickson did he did pretty amazing things with hypnosis, and he was able to get almost everybody in trance. And now traditional approaches say it's about 75% of people go into trance, 20-25% really highly hypnotizable, 50% somewhat hypnotizable, 20 to 25% not hypnotizable, not suggestible. Erickson didn't go with that stuff. He could approach almost everybody like that. How did he do that? The first thing he did, and it's the biggest element that I think if you don't have this as your initial, somewhere in the initial part of the induction, it's probably not going to go as well as if you do, and that's permission. And that's one of the things that distinguishes the work that I do and the work that Erickson did from a lot of traditional hypnosis. He didn't usually tell people what to do or give direct suggestions. He would say, you can, you might, you could, this could happen, this could happen. He'd give a lot of permission. So you don't get people's resistance up when you give them permission. You're just you're sort of like laying out a smorgasbord of options, and they can choose what they want. So, and you're telling them it's okay to have whatever you want.
For instance, an induction by someone who's not an Ericksonian, using an Ericksonian approach might be, you are getting very sleepy or something.
Right, or your eyes are getting tired. And there are two kinds of phrases that are used in traditional stuff. One is what Virginia Satir called mind reading. That is, you tell them what they're experiencing. You become the authority, and it's called authoritarian hypnosis. You become the authority on their experience. You say, here's what you're feeling. Your eyes are getting heavy. You're going into trance. You're getting more and more sleepy, or your hand is getting heavier and heavier, or your hand is getting lighter and lighter. Whatever you tell them, you're the expert, and you're telling them what's going on with them. You're the expert. And then the second thing is you do a sort of prediction. Your eyes will close. You will go into trance. And In this approach, we steer away from that for the most part. There are occasions when we use both forms, but most of the time, especially during induction, when people, when I do hypnosis, people say, oh, I could never be hypnotized because I need to be too in control. They've got control issues. Also, some people are very frightened about this. I mean, they're just freaked out. Hypnosis, oh, no, I could never, that scares me. This is a really gentle way of doing it. You don't have to do anything you don't want. You don't have to feel anything you don't want or that's not right for you. And people get so reassured that they're sort of lulled into trance. There's almost no resistance. Now, I wouldn't say there's never any resistance, but you diminish the resistance by, I don't know, I'm just making up a percentage, 90%. When you approach people in this very gentle and permissive way, they just don't get their hackles up, they don't get their defenses up, and it's much easier to have people go into trance. So the phrases we use instead of are, that mind-reading phrase, or will, that predictive phrase, are phrases like you could, you might, you can.
There's a lot more to learn about hypnosis and clinical work. For more information, visit our blog, www.nicabm.com/nicabmblog. Or attend a free teleseminar at www.nicabm.com/teleseminar/2009, where you will learn the elements of induction, hear a demonstration of a trance induction, and learn what to do once your patient is in trance. This December, NICABM will host its 21st International Psychology of Health, Immunity, and Disease Conference on the beautiful Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. Hundreds of practitioners will be coming from all over the U.S. and many parts of the world. Among the nearly 50 speakers, Bill O'Hanlon will be giving a class on Ericksonian hypnosis, an inclusive, permissive approach to mind-body healing. There will be several other sessions on related topics, including EMDR, a trauma therapy power tool, The Hour and the Story, using metaphorical interventions, and Healing Sleep and Dreams, an integrative approach. To see more information about the December conference and to sign up to attend and receive CE/CME credits, please visit www.nicabm.com.